Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on the new Payroll WorkCenter and other new payroll features coming in September 2026. Thank you so much for attending. For our agenda today, I'll give you a quick overview of what to expect in our webinar, and I'll fill you in on the Cardinal Upgrade project. I'll then turn it over to Angela Ward, our fabulous training lead, who will review the new Payroll WorkCenter and other payroll enhancements, all coming as part of the upgrade. In this webinar, we are featuring enhancements to the payroll functional area as part of the Cardinal Upgrade. If we don't discuss a particular Cardinal function, it is most likely unchanged as part of the upgrade. We are updating all job aids and other training materials, which will be made available to you prior to the upgrade. Retaking training will not be required, although you are certainly welcome to consider it. So before I turn it over to Angela, let me fill you in on the PUM upgrade project, especially for those that need to know more. The Cardinal team is enhancing both Fin and HCM, upgrading these applications to the latest PeopleSoft releases. We started the project in September 2025 and plan to go live with the upgraded system on September 8th, 2026. The upgrade includes over 1,400 enhancements aimed at improving the user experience and overall system functionality. Our summer webinars are designed to help you become familiar with many of the new features of the upgrade. And of course, today we will feature enhancements for payroll. So now I'm going to turn it over to Angela.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angela Ward, and I am the lead Cardinal trainer for payroll. We are going to share with you, and you're going to be able to see and hear how the Cardinal upgrade impacts payroll. Secondly, I want to let you know that there are no changes to the overall functionality, and payroll processing will remain just as it does for what we do today. One of the biggest changes with the Cardinal upgrade for payroll is the introduction of WorkCenters. Let's take a few minutes to watch a video that will provide information about the Cardinal HCM WorkCenters. This video will feature Ken. He is a TA supervisor. While Ken will provide information using the TA WorkCenter, the benefits that he will highlight applies to all three Cardinal HCM WorkCenters. So with that said, let's watch the video.
Meet Ken. He's a TA supervisor. And probably just like you, Ken has to go to a number of different pages in Cardinal to complete his daily work.
It would be so nice to have one place to go to access tasks I need to do today. I'd probably get even more work done.
Guess what, Ken? We are introducing Cardinal HCM WorkCenters, a centralized hub for completing your daily tasks. WorkCenters reduce navigation time and improve productivity. You can review action items that contain counts so you know how many require attention, apply flexible filters, complete tasks, and run reports and queries all in one place. Yes, you heard right, all in one place. Starting from Cardinal's HCM homepage, let's take a look at the TA WorkCenter tile and go through some of Ken's daily time-related tasks.
As a TA supervisor, my time-related tasks include things like reviewing and fixing exceptions, approving time and absences, assigning work schedules, and running key reports.
Ken certainly has a lot of tasks, so let's see an example of how WorkCenters can help him get them done more efficiently. Once again, start by selecting the TA WorkCenter tile. First on Ken's list is reviewing/fixing exceptions. In WorkCenters, he can check for exceptions in the Exceptions folder under the My Work section. Since this section defaults as expanded, he can easily see there are 3 exceptions requiring attention, which he can filter, review, and adjust. Once done, this action count will disappear. Next on the list is approving time and absences. Move down to the My Approvals section, which also defaults as expanded. He is able to quickly see he has 1 timesheet with payable time that requires review and approval, and 3 absence requests. Click the Payable Time page to review the timesheet. To do so, click the Payable Time option on the page. Review the entries for accuracy and select entries ready for approval and click Approve. Now that the time is approved, let's click the Refresh button and watch our task count go from 1 to none. Let's finish this task by reviewing absences. To do so, click the Absence Request page. I'll spare you the details, but do as you would in the Payable Time page by reviewing each pending request and approving them if accurate. After refreshing, the counts for this task should be gone. Now that this is completed, we can move to Ken's next task, assigning work schedules. Start by clicking the Links section. From there, click on the Manage Time folder. When the folder expands to display the page options, select the Manage Schedule page. Ken can assign any schedule needed here. Now let's go back to complete the last task of running key reports by clicking the Reports Processes section. Expand the Must Run Reports folder and select the Timesheet Report page. Here, Ken can run one of his key reports to help him verify time submitted by his employees.
Wow, thanks for that speed run, narrator. WorkCenters really can bring my tasks into one workplace.
Exactly. And those advantages apply for each of Cardinal HCM's configured work centers, including TA, BN, and PY, which again are located on the Cardinal HCM homepage and display based on your security roles. Cardinal HCM WorkCenters, your one-stop shop to get your tasks done.
Well, I hope that you guys are feeling excited just as Ken is feeling excited. As noted in the video, the Work Center brings together items requiring attention and provides easy access to frequently used pages, queries, and reports. This slide provides a screenshot of the Payroll Work Center. It includes some callouts of the different sections with a high-level description of each. This information is included for your reference. I will cover these sections in more detail when I go through my demo, which is coming up shortly. Work centers contain filtering options, which allow you to adjust the data that displays in the Work Center by using default and temporary filters. Default filters are available on the navigation panel, and when they are updated, they impact what displays in the Work Center each time you access it. Default filters remain in place until you make additional updates to them. Temporary filters are located on the transaction panel and allow you to refine data that displays in that panel. These filters do not save and would have to be reset each time. We have created a job aid that provides more detailed information about work centers, which includes details about setting up default and temporary filters that will be available to you upon go live. There are 3 other key payroll enhancements coming with the upgrade, which are a dashboard-style view of the payroll self-service options, a new Edit Account Number checkbox feature for updating direct deposits, and finally, mobile functionality enhancements. So let's take a moment to go through these in a little bit more detail. As part of the upgrade, there is a change to the landing page layout for the self-service features available through the payroll tile. The top image on the right displays what users see today when the payroll tile is selected. The pay stubs, W-2s, paycheck reversals, and direct deposits display on a sidebar in the area on the left. With the Cardinal Upgrade, these options will display as individual tiles as pictured on the bottom of the slide to the right. Once a specific tile is selected, the pages have the same basic look and functionality as they do today. Next is the direct deposit page change with the addition of the Edit Account checkbox. This checkbox must be selected when you need to make a change to the employee's direct deposit account number. Checking this box clears the old account number and allows you to enter the new account number, avoiding the need to delete or type over previous data. And finally, we are excited to share that all employees will now have a better view of their paycheck stub on their mobile phones. The updates to our self-service page using the tile structure makes it easier to view and manage on mobile devices. The screenshots on this slide give you an idea of how the pay stubs will display. So what we're going to do is let's just jump right into the demo. Are you guys excited to see this? I'm going to share my screen. Before I go into my demo, I want to make sure you know that we are using a training environment with test data. So I'm going to go ahead and get logged in. Now, a quick note of awareness. The Payroll WorkCenter tile is only going to be visible to users with the Payroll Administrator security role. Users with the Payroll read-only role will continue to access the pages through the nav bar and menu navigation, just as they do today. So I'm going to start my demo by clicking on the PY WorkCenter tile. So now you kind of get an opportunity to see what our tile looks like versus Ken. So before I go into each of these sections, let me take a moment to review some overview information about the WorkCenter layout, and that way you're familiar with some of the terminology you will hear me use today. So on the left side, this is called our navigation panel. And we call it that because the navigation panel, this side, the left side, controls what displays to the right, which is our transaction panel. The navigation panel includes sections, and these are those words you see kind of in that orange color. And under those sections, bolded words, those are folders, and folders contain pages, which allow you to easily access items requiring attention or quick access to frequently used pages, reports, and queries. The Payroll WorkCenter contains 4 sections, which are My Work, Links, Queries, and Reports/Processes. I will cover each of these at a high level. The My Work section automatically displays as expanded when you access the WorkCenter. For payroll, there's just one folder, Audit Exceptions, and one page, Payroll Error Messages, in this section. Currently, you run the Payroll Error Message query to see a list of errors during the payroll count process. As part of the upgrade, you will no longer need to do that. Payroll Error Messages display here upon accessing the page, which allows you to easily review the errors and take the applicable action to resolve them. This page also includes what we call control counts, and that's the total number in this case of payroll error messages. Now, there's a key point I do want to stress here. In the video, we saw that when updates were made, Ken went over and he clicked the refresh button on the navigation panel so that the count, that number, could update. The error count for payroll error messages is automatically updated when the next payroll count process runs, which is typically around 12. So, important point here. If you are in the WorkCenter at that time, the count will not update unless you click the refresh button. Bottom line, it's a good habit to click the refresh button, but no, it will not actually update until the actual payroll count runs. Now, this is a great new feature. I hope you guys are excited. That saves time because you no longer need to run the query. You can monitor right here in the Payroll WorkCenter during payroll processing. Now, I also want to call your attention to this little navigation tab that you see right here on the navigation panel. This is another great feature in the WorkCenters. It allows you to hide the navigation panel and expand the transaction panel so that you can extend the view for larger pages. All you do is simply click the tab and the navigation panel is contracted. You click it again and now it brings it back into view. Again, I know for me, some of these pages, just like for you guys, they're pretty full, right? So we want to have more of a view there. So next, let's go down to the next section of our WorkCenter, which is the Links section. So I'm going to click to expand the Links section. The section contains 3 folders, which are Employee Data Maintenance, process payroll, and other links. Each folder contains frequently accessed pages, which allow you to easily access the specific page without having to go through navbar menu navigation or even using favorites. They're all accessible right here in the Work Center. So let's use an example. Let's say an employee comes to you with an updated federal tax form that requires entry. So what would you do? Well, you'd go in your navigation panel, you click your link section, then you're going to click the employee data maintenance folder so that it can expand. And when I expand that right now, you guys can kind of see the pages that are part of that. Now, for our taxes, we can click on employee tax data. And there's our search page that we're familiar with. And then you'd enter your employee ID and complete your updates, just as you do today. The difference is you're doing it right in the Work Center. And yep, it's just that easy. Now, another key page that we use as payroll administrators is what? The Enter Spot Transactions page. And of course, that page is included here in the Work Center as well. So when you need to enter a spot transaction, under the links section, you would click on the Process Payroll folder. You click your Enter Spot Transactions, and there is our Enter Spot Transaction search page. You would click your Add a New Value. And for this example, I'm just going to populate just a little bit of information here. We're using our Virginia State University here. And I just want you to see just how easy it is in the Work Center. I click Add, and there is my spot, my Enter Spot Transactions page. Again, I can use my navigation tab to get that navigation panel out of the way so that I can enter my spot transactions. So one more note that I want to make before I proceed. And I'm going to go back up here to our employee data maintenance section and kind of come down a little bit. As part of the upgrade, there are changes to both job data and personal data pages. And we as payroll administrators, that's something that's accessed frequently. So it will be important for you to review the HR 353, reviewing the human resource read-only pages job aid and corresponding WBT that's going to help guide you through those changes. So just make a little note of that. All right, so let me close down the link section, and let's now come down and expand the queries section. The queries section contains two folders, which are payroll queries and workforce queries. I'm going to take a moment and expand each of these folders. These are the payroll queries. Give you guys a moment to kind of see what we have there. And now our workforce queries. And again, the Work Center was set up to contain the most frequently run queries. So you may be looking at this list and say, hey, Angela, there's a couple of queries that I run that I don't see here. So how would I do that? Well, don't you worry. We got you covered, and Work Centers have you covered. If there's a query that you run that's not included here on this list, all you would have to do is just scroll up in your Work Center, expand the links section. I'm going to close these other ones out. Click the other links section, and voila, I love peanut butter sandwiches. Look at that. We have the query viewer here. And you could come in here, search for any of your payroll queries, and you can click on and run that query. Again, all right here in the Work Center. Hopefully this has you guys out there feeling excited about what you're seeing so far. Now, the last section is reports/processes. And I'm going to expand that folder, and you're going to see, I'm going to expand that section. You're going to see two folders: pay period reports and post payroll reports. I'm going to expand the pay period reports. Kind of scroll that down a little bit so you guys can see that as well. And for this particular demonstration, I want to call out another change. The direct deposit distribution query is a query that is run frequently by you guys as payroll administrators. You know that. And there is a change coming. As part of the Cardinal Upgrade, that is no longer going to be a query, but it will become a report. And as you can see here, as I'm scrolling up so you can see the reports, That is going to now be a report that you can access and you can run here. So I'm sliding it down a little bit. And now it's called the Direct Deposit Distrib report. So let me click on that so we can look at that now. So when I click on that, we get our normal run control page. Of course, this is kind of like the cooking show, right? I've already run it. So I'm going to click the search bar, the search button, and you can see that my parameters have been saved. And then I would go through and simply run this report just as I would any other report. Now, in the interest of time, I have run this report and I'm showing you a screenshot of how that report would display. Obviously, I've redacted some information here, but this gives you an idea that this query, which is now a report, and you can kind of see how it would display. So believe it or not, just that quick, that concludes my demo of the Payroll WorkCenter. Hopefully you can see how it's structured in a way that will allow you to get the most out of your day by having all of your tasks, or maybe not all of them, but most of them, right? Most of them in one place. After all, time is our most precious gift, and WorkCenters will help you get the most out of that precious gift. Thank you again for attending. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Dana.
Angela, I could tell by all of the hearts and thumbs up that everybody seems pretty excited. We do have a few questions that we are going to cover right now. Turn it over to Jolene, and she's going to go through the questions we already have.
Great. So the first question, Kevin, for the direct deposit change, is this change going to be to the actual account or to the routing number? Or will it change with the function changing with the bank as well?
You only use that checkbox if you're changing the account number. You can change the routing number without having to check that. And if you're changing the routing number, you're probably changing the bank account number as well.
Can you also talk a little bit about adding additional queries to the Work Center?
Sure. So as Angela said, what we did is we looked at the queries that have been run most often, and that's how we came up with the list. If you see you have a query that you run all the time that's not on that list, you can log a ticket and request that we add it. And if we get enough of that, enough people want to add it, we will add that in. The same goes for links and reports and processes. If there's one you are like, how did they miss this one? Send it to us. We'll consider it. But we don't want to overwhelm that list with, we try to keep it to around 10 things in each of the areas. One thing I will note, what we're really excited about is the My Work section. We envision adding more things to that. So for example, you go there, we want that to become your to-do list every morning. So something like today you run a query to go find direct deposits that you need to address. We would prefer to put that in the My Work section so that it puts it in front of you and tells you in the morning you have 3 people that have direct deposit data that's not set up right. So we view it as down the road, that will be a way that we push a lot of things to your to-do list. But we're only starting with one, but those will be coming. We're excited about what we can do with it in the future.
All right. So what about the current tiles and navigation that users have now? What will that look like in the upgrade?
Hi, everybody. This is Julie Seitz. We're excited for that question. You will still have the ability to do tiles and favorites. One thing, there will be some changes, like Angela was mentioning, to some of your favorites that have been saved, because we are moving to some new pages. So there are changes, and you might need to add those to your favorites list. But we'll have communications that'll help you with those as we get closer to go live.
So you might lose some of your favorites, but you should expect to see a communication come out saying, hey, screenshot your favorites so you can remember what your favorites are. But if the page has changed dramatically, the location will change. And so you'll need to refavorite those. But a good communication coming up late August, early September about that. Let's talk a little bit about, new Work Center reports. Do you have to run them all at once, or will they be able to run for a particular pay run ID, Kevin?
You still have to run them one at a time.
All right. It looks like we're out of questions right now.
So thank you for that feedback. We really like to capture some of this to see what we need to finalize in terms of training before we go live. But again, as we mentioned, all of our job aids, all of our instructor-led training, all of our web-based training is all being revamped to reflect the upgraded environment. So stay tuned for all of that. Okay, so one thing we also want to let you know is that we've added a new upgrade page to the Cardinal website. You can see the URL here. Here you'll find links to all of our upgrade communications, our special videos we've spoken about, some infographics, and all of the recordings and presentation decks from our summer webinars will be posted there also. So keep checking this page regularly as we continue to add resources. And please, we would really love your feedback and would appreciate you taking a brief survey. Just scan this QR code on the slide to begin.
Cardinal is going to go live on September 8th. And we aren't exactly sure of the entire outage. We're practicing in about 2 weeks in a non-production environment. We think the downtime will be rather limited. So it is over that Labor Day weekend. You should expect that you will not be able to get into the system on Labor Day weekend, but we will communicate that out at the end of August, or I'm sorry, in the middle of August. And yes, there is a payroll certification date. We are aware about that, and we're working with state payroll operations. Further guidance will be provided as we get closer, but it will be a tight time frame, and we'll need to work in conjunction with those HR administrators for any last minute hires and terminations to be able to coordinate that payroll. Shannon has a question about HR administrators with the payroll view only. They will not have access to the work centers, but they will continue to have access to the payroll pages they currently have access to. So they won't get all the bells and whistles you all are getting here as payroll administrators, but they still will have that read-only role.
So one final reminder, and Angela definitely touched on this earlier, but with the Cardinal upgrade, the look and feel of the job data and personal data pages is substantially changing. So we will be communicating that out later this summer, and we will point you to the updated HR 353 read-only job aid and that related web-based training. But we really strongly encourage you to review these materials prior to the upgrade go live, as they're changing pretty substantially, and you'll want to familiarize yourself with those pages so you'll be ready on day one. All righty. I think that's all we have for you today. We thank you so much for attending. If you haven't already done so, we'd love you to submit your survey, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for attending. Bye.